Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Today I'm going to be answering questions about how the Jeep Gladiator performs as a kid hauler and not just an off-road rig. So if you're looking at Jeeps and wondering how they will fit with your kids that are in car seats, stick around because this video will give you some insights. With me, I've got my chief accomplice, Margot. She's going to be helping out with filming how she fits into the Jeep Gladiator with her car seats and all the things that we have to take with a younger than 2-year-old kid. And so we're going to talk about that and she'll help demonstrate how she fits into the Gladiator. All right, so the number one question that we had when we were looking at Jeep Gladiators, and the question I get most often is, how do kids' car seats fit into the Gladiator, specifically that infant car seat when they're younger than a year old? Well, the good news is they fit, but it is tight. Let's go through it real quick. So with our specific Jeep, we do hold 2 kids in the back. On the one side, we do have the infant car seat. And on the other side, we do have the toddler car seat. Now this does go forward facing, which will help your front passenger. But for right now, under 2, this is rear facing, and we'll talk about how that eats up some of your space up front. So first, starting off with this rear facing car seat, Jeep does give you the attach points for your car seats, which is very convenient. I will say, just like any pickup truck, this is a bit of a pain to attach the rear strap behind into that attach point behind the back seat. Other than that, it is pretty easy to get these seats in and out compared to other vehicles. I will just disclaim, these car seats are always a pain in the butt to put in and out of cars. And as you can see, the rear facing car seat does get pretty close to this back of the front passenger seat. And so with that, sitting in the front passenger seat, you do have a decent amount of leg room, but for a guy like me that's about 6'1", I don't find any problem sitting up front, but I will disclaim that I do like sitting more upright than lean back. So if you're someone that likes to put this back part further back, you will have those problems when you're riding. What'd you get? What is that? Is that a walnut? Can you throw it? Yay, good job. So like I said, for me, a guy that's pretty tall, I don't mind the front seat setup in its current position. I do sit with my back pretty straight, and so it's not necessarily uncomfortable for me, but if you are someone that likes to lean back, it's going to be virtually impossible to have that seat go far back when those car seats are in their rear facing positions, specifically that infant car seat, which is what we're about to get into next. And I will quickly point out that when we were looking at our next vehicle, which turned into the Jeep Gladiator, one of the main things we were talking about at the time as a family was we were going into that phase of life where we were going to have kids, and would the Gladiator work for that? And I will say the last point in this video is probably the most important point that the Gladiator has over most vehicles when it comes to kids. So stay tuned for that point, because I think it is one of the most important and salient points that you will find if you do get a Gladiator and you have young kids. And real quick too, if you're wondering about 2 car seats in the car, yes, that's right. We added to the family over the Christmas holiday. Our baby boy was born just after Christmas, and so we're easily demonstrating that we have a toddler car seat and the infant car seat. So Margot's a big sister, we're happy, proud parents, and this is a great time to kind of demonstrate how you could ride in your Jeep with 2 car seats and the pros and cons to both. But enough of the family talk, let's jump back into the car seats and how they fit into the Jeep. All right, and so on this side, we have the rear-facing infant car seat, typically for your 1-year-olds or less. This one does get really close to the back of your driver's seat. Like I mentioned before, I like to sit with my back straight up. I did have to move this seat a little bit forward to even get this thing to fit in the back. That being said, it does fit. So if you're smaller than 6 foot, you'll more than likely be comfortable and just fine. But again, if you do like having your front seat laid back, it's not really going to be possible, in my opinion, with these rear-facing car seats. Quickly, to illustrate how far forward this front driver's seat is, it is pretty tight. My knees are close to the dash. I don't mind sitting upright, like I said before. This is a small squeeze if you are a taller person. And if you're a shorter person, no problem at all. But like the same side, these attach into these car seat attachments that are built into the factory seats. So that is very easy and convenient for you to attach your car seat. What do you think? Next quick thing I'm going to touch on is storage. Of course, you have a 5-foot bed for bigger items, but if you don't have a tonneau cover and you're taking a lot of little toys or diapers or caddies and things like that, you will want a tonneau cover or some totes to put those in, because obviously if you don't have that, they will just quickly fly out of the bed. That being said, inside the cab itself, you're pretty limited on storage. Those car seats take up a lot of space. And so you've got under the seat and then where your feet would go in that back seat for pretty much anything when you put in there. When we put a diaper bag in the back, it pretty much fills up one entire side. If you take any other types of toys or food or snacks or anything like that, you'll quickly find that your back seat starts to fill up real quick when you're carrying 2 kids in car seats and all the items that you naturally carry with your kids when you're out in town or on a road trip. So just keep that in mind from an inside the cab storage. Definitely plenty of room in the back of the bed for bigger items, but you want to find a way to secure them some way if you're going on the highway or on the road for a long period of time. As we look at what's underneath the car seats where your feet typically go, there's not much room. Once you start putting your diaper bags and other accessories that you would have with your kids, you're going to find that this space fills up real quickly. You do have this inside the middle car seat that someone could technically fit in, but it would be pretty uncomfortable if they are an adult-sized person, or if you have other gear that you want to put there, like a cooler so you can reach it from the front, that spot gets taken usually pretty quickly. So with that, just keep in mind that your storage space inside the cab does start to get pretty limited when you add those car seats in. But that's what the bed is for, and with a simple tote, you can secure those things with a bungee cord when you're going on long road trips or you're going across town and you want to take those items with you. But just keep in mind, inside the cab, pretty limited. You can always resort to the bed, but have that tote. We quickly touched on it, but having a third person in that back seat with 2 kids is possible, but it is very limited, and that person being an adult-sized human would be pretty hard to be comfortable on a long trip. And one of the other things I want to quickly touch on is the wind factor and the noise that comes from that wind with a Jeep. Most Jeeps are commonly known for having a little bit of road noise because they have that soft shell or the hard shell, but we actually find that as a positive with younger kids because it acts as like a white noise machine. And oftentimes when we take the Jeep, they're out in minutes, whereas we take the Subaru and other cars, they're pretty quiet, and so we have to do a little bit of entertainment before they fall asleep. So that may be a positive or negative for you, but just know that the road noise for us really doesn't seem to be a big factor with our kids. In fact, for our kids being younger ones, they actually fall asleep, which is nice on those longer road trips. So we don't find it a factor, but I'm just throwing that out there, as many folks did comment, and we thought that that might be an issue when we were looking at Jeeps, but it turned out not to be. It actually turned out to be a nice solution. And on to the last point on whether or not you're considering if a Jeep is going to be good when you have kids or not, is the fun factor. And like I said before in the video, this, in my opinion, is probably the most important point for deciding whether or not you should get a Jeep based off of having kids or not, and if they will fit. Obviously, the things I talked about before can be big factors in why or why not you're gonna get a Jeep when you're having kids. But I will say my daughter absolutely loves the Jeep. And when we go out on trails and we do adventures and we go out as a family, that specifically sticks around more. And my daughter is mentioning Jeep more and more when we're trying to go out and we're using our other vehicle. She prefers to go in the Jeep, which is music to my ears. But that being said, I definitely cannot wait for them to be a little bit older so we can enjoy the true perks of a Jeep when we can take the doors off and we can take that roof off, go down to the beach and enjoy just being out with the elements. I know as a kid, I would love that. And I'm sure as they get older, they're going to find that that is going to be an awesome factor with the Jeep and why they would prefer to take the Jeep over one of our other. And so with that, guys, this wraps up the video. I hope this helped. If you are considering a Gladiator after this video and you want to have a good negotiation strategy for buying a Jeep, I have a video that's linked below for you to check out, so that'll help you walk into the dealer and get the Jeep that you're looking for. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. There's a lot of you out there that watch these videos that aren't. If you're just liking this video, that's awesome too. And if you have things that I did not cover and you want answers to, please put those in the comments below. I'd greatly appreciate being able to answer them for you. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya! Margot, can you say Jeep?
Jeep.